Ji, Assalamu alaikum. This is Farhan Shakil from the Republic 2.0. And today, the paper that we're going to do is 4024, paper 2, variant 1, October, November का paper है 24. और जो time frame है इसका that is 2.5 hour. तो हम कोशिश करेंगे कि इसको 2.5 hour में ही complete करें. So, you've got this question number 1 that Bisma owns a toy shop. The sign shows the opening hours for the shop. Saturday to Wednesday, 10:30 to 8:18, and Thursday to Friday, she opens from 10 to 9:30. So what does that mean? आपने total length of the shop निकालनी है is open in 1 week. कि वो एक week में कितनी open है. So what you're gonna do? You've got Saturday to Wednesday. आपके पास कितने hours हैं? 7.5 यानी 7.5. और days कितने हैं आपके पास? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So it becomes 5. 5 days ये हैं plus अगर आपके पास थर्सडे और फ्राइडे का आप टाइम देखें तो you've got 9.5 hour. So 9.5 times it by Thursday and Friday. So times it by 2. So you'll have the total time frame. और total time frame अगर आप इसको calculate करते हैं so you'll be having 56.5 hours. Okay. Now you've got the B part of the same question that Basma employs 5 sales assistants and 2 supervisors. On one particular week, this 5 sales assistants each work for 30 hours and 2 supervisors each work for 38 hours. यानी एक week में 5 sales assistants काम कर रहे हैं 30 hours और 2 supervisors काम कर रहे हैं 38 hours. For that, the total amount Bisma pays these 7 employees is 3324.70. यानी total amount जो वो pay कर रही हैं that is 3324.70, right? Bisma pays each sales assistant 13.45 per hour. Sales assistant कितने हैं आपके पास? 5. और वो काम कितना कर रहे हैं? Each work for 30 hours. So total कितना work करेंगे वो? 5 times 30. और उनकी पेमेंट पर आवर कितनी है? 13.45. हमने जब टोटल कॉस्ट निकालनी है. And similarly, we've got 2 supervisors and they're going to work for 38 hours. But we need to calculate that how much Bisma pays to each supervisor. So I'm just keeping it as X. उसको हम X रख देंगे. And now from this equation, we need to calculate X. So 3324.70 equals to, अगर आप इन सबको multiply करते हैं 5 times 30 times 13.45, so you'll be having 2017.5 plus when you're going to multiply 2 by 38, you would be having something like 76x. So 76x would be equal to 3324.70 minus 217.5. So 76x would be equal to minus, अगर आप minus करते हैं 3324.70, so you'll be having 1307.2. So to get the value of X or per hour wage of the sales assistant, अगर आप उनकी बात करती हैं per hour wage of the supervisor अगर आप calculate करते हैं, so you just divide it by both the sides by 76 and you would be having $17.2 per hour, right? Now the exchange rate between the dollars and the pound is that $1 is equal to 0.77 pounds. Bisma buys 50 identical games for a total of 245. So उनकी जो cost price है, the cost price is 50 identical games for a total of 245 pounds. और cost price of one game कितनी हो जाएगी? 245 divided by 50, and that has to be 245 divided by 50. It would be 4.9. यानी 4.9 pounds की उनके पास एक गेम है. She makes a profit. So profit percentage is 39%. And now calculate the selling price of one game in dollars. So we need to calculate the selling price. Now, if you want to calculate the selling price, all you need to do is 200 plus the profit of 39 divided by 100 multiplied by the cost. That was 4.9 pound. So 4.9 times 139 divided by 100. So you would be having something like So you would be having the selling price, and the selling price is going to be 6.81 pounds, right? And now if you want to convert it into dollars, तो आपको पता है कि जी 1 pound is something like 1 upon $0.77. So just divide it by 0.77 and you'll be having 0.77 and you'll be having 8.84. $8.84, right? So that is how we're gonna get the price. Okay. Now, in the D part, Bisma is going to invest 12,000 in an account paying compound interest at a rate of 1.5% per year. At the end of year one, she invests another $12,000 in the same amount in the same account. At the end of the year four, she takes $20,000 out of that account. Question number D. So Bisma is going to invest 12,000 in the account paying compound interest at a rate of 1.5% per year. At the end of year one, she invests another $12,000 in the same account. So पहले साल का अगर आप interest निकाल लें, if you could calculate the interest of the first year, that is 12,000. So interest on first year. So first year में क्या हो जाएगा आपके पास? That you would be having 12,000 times 1 plus the rate 1.5%. What does that mean? 0.015 to the power of 1. Then 12,000 times 1.015. और अगर आप 12,000 को मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं 1.015 से, so you'll be having 1,200 and 180. And now, in the first year, you're going to invest 12,000 as well. So total amount या total amount जो invest की हुई है, that is 12,180 plus the another 12,000, and that would be 24,180 is the total principal amount at the end of the 1 year. So अब जाहिर सी बात है कि 4 years becomes now 3 years because now you're investing for 3 years, right? आपने ये amount invest किया for 3 years. So amount at the end of the 3 year would be the principal, that is 24,180, 1 plus interest वही रहेगा to the power of 3. So if you're going to calculate that out, you'll having 1 plus 1.015 to the power of 3, and you'll be having this thingy times it by 24,180, and you will have 25. Total amount जो होगी 1.015 to the cube, और total amount आपके पास होगा 25,284 at the end of 4 years, right? Up, she took 20,000 out of that account at the end of the year 4. So total left out amount क्या होगी? Left out amount has to be 25,284 minus 20,000, and that would eventually be going to give you $5,284, right? So she's having $5,284 in her account at the end of the 4 years when she took 20,000 out of it. Now, we've got this question number 2. In a traffic survey, information about the vehicles passing a checkpoint is recorded. 160 vehicles pass the checkpoint in the morning. The table shows the number of people in each of these vehicles. You've got number of people, frequency, blah, blah, blah. आपने pie chart angle निकालना है. So how you number of people are 1, you've got a frequency that is 72, and pie chart angle आपने देखना है. तो pie chart angle आप कैसे निकालते हैं? You just need to do 72 divided by the sum of all these frequencies. The sum of all these frequencies is 160 times it by 360. इसको आप solve करें, you'll get 162. Similarly, if you want to calculate this angle, which is 48, divided by the sum of the frequencies, times it by 360, and you'll get the final angle, and that has to be 108. So this is how we're going to complete the table. Now, complete the pie chart shows the results, right? So एक उसने आपको draw कर दिए 90 degrees. Now the other angles that you had were 162. अब अगर आप इसको, you need to draw it with the help of a, protector. तो यहाँ पे आएगा तकरीबन 162. That should be 162. जब आप इसको draw करेंगे, and the left out angle क्या होगा? 108 degrees. That has to be 108 degrees. So this is for 2 and this is for 1. So that is how you're going to draw the pie chart by using a protector. Now you have got a histogram which is showing the speeds of the vehicles after the checkpoints in the afternoon. You've got the frequency density over here, and over here you've got the speeds. Sanjay says the histogram shows that the range of the speed is 50 kilometers per hour. The range of the speed that is 50 kilometers per hour. Explain why he may not be correct. ये क्यों बात गलत है? तो सिंपल सी बात देखें, जब उसने कहा आपको कि दैट द रेंज इज 50 किलोमीटर पर आवर, सो यू आर स्टेपिंग अहेड ऑफ इट फ्रॉम 50 to 70। सो व्हाट डज दैट मीन कि जो आपने डाटा की ग्रुपिंग की है वो स्पीड्स आपको पता ही नहीं है, यू डू नॉट नो व्हाट टू डू विद दी स्पीड्स, राइट? सो यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली राइट कि आपको स्पीड्स लाइक 50 to 70 are unknown because the range the range is 50 kilometers per hour. Got it? नेक्स्ट आपके पास बात है, यू नीड टू कंप्लीट द फ्रीक्वेंसी टेबल। तो फ्रीक्वेंसी टेबल कंप्लीट करना है। ऑन दिस साइड यू हैव गॉट 30 to 40, और यहाँ पर आपकी जो फ्रीक्वेंसी डेंसिटी है दैट इज समथिंग लाइक 4.5। नो, आपके पास क्या है? 4.5 है। या कुछ भी आप कर लें यहाँ पे, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप स्केल देखें 4.2, 4.4, 4.6, 4.85, तो दैट शुड बी 4.6। डेंसिटी आपके पास 4.6 है, एंड इफ यू वांट टू कैलकुलेट द फ्रीक्वेंसी डेंसिटी, याद रखें फ्रीक्वेंसी डेंसिटी, इफ यू वांट टू कैलकुलेट इट, इट इज जस्ट द frequency divided by the gap, right? So if you want to calculate the frequency again, just times the frequency density by the gap. The frequency density is 4.6 and the gap is 10. Just times them up and you will have something like 46. 40 to 45 का gap 5 है, 40 to 45 का गैप 5 है, और इसकी जो फ्रीक्वेंसी बन रही है दैट इज समथिंग लाइक 8.8। सो 5 times 8.8 and that would be 5 times 8.8 and that has to be 44। 44 होगा, 45 से 50 का गैप भी 5 है, and the frequency is something like 7.6। so 7.6 times 5, so 7.6 times 5 अगर आप देखें तो that becomes like 38। इसी तरीके से अगर आप 50 to 70 जो कि गैप 20 है, और 50 to 70 का गैप 20 है, और आपके पास फ्रिक्वेंसी है तकरीबन 1.6, सो 20 times 1.6, just 20 times 1.6 and you would have 32। so these are the frequencies and these are the speeds। so that is how we need to complete the table. You need to remember this formula. After this, you've got to complete the table for y is equals to 4 plus 2x minus x square upon 2. First of all, you've got the value of x as -2. So आप क्या करेंगे? You just need to plug that value of x in the above equation and you'll get y. So y is equals to 4 plus 2 times -2 minus -2 का square divided by 2. If you're going to solve it down, 4 minus 4 minus 4 divided by 2, and that would eventually become -2. So यहाँ पर क्या होगा? -2 होगा y. And similarly, if you want to get the value of y when x is 6, just plug the value of x in the similar equation, and you would be having y is equals to 4 plus 2 times 6 minus 6 square divided by 2. And you would be having y is equals to 4 plus 12 minus 36 upon 2, and 36 upon 2 becomes like 18. So you would be having y is equals to 4 plus 12, that is 16. 16 minus 18 becomes -2. So that would be -2 as well. Now we need to draw the graph 4 plus 2x minus x square upon 2 from -2 to 6. -2 to 6 की देख लें, आपको तकरीबन वैल्यूज दी हुई हैं। सो यू जस्ट नीड टू प्लॉट दैट आउट। तो आप देख लें पॉइंट क्या है, -2 and 2। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव गॉट -2 and 2। सो x का -2 इधर है, y का -2 इधर है, सो यू विल हैव अ पॉइंट राइट ओवर हियर। After that, you have got -1 and 1.5. -1 is over here, and -1.5. Now you need to get, okay, 1.5. So -1 and 1.5 must be somewhere over here. तो यहाँ पर आपके पास एक पॉइंट आ जाएगा। Right after that, you've got 0 and 4. So 0 and 4 आपके पास इधर पॉइंट है। Now you've got 1 and 5.5. X is 1 and 5.5. What does that mean? It must be somewhere in between 5 and 6, somewhere over here. Similarly, you've got 2 and 6. So 2 and 6 would be somewhere over here. And then you have got 3 and 5.5. So 3 and 5.5 must be something like this one. And then you have got 4 and 4. So 4 and 4 must be somewhere over here. And then you have got 5 and 1.5. So 5 and 1.5, it must be somewhere over here. At the end of the day, you're having 6 and -2. So 6 and -2 somewhere over here. So we just need to draw a curve that's going to join all these points like this, because that was a quadratic curve, so it would be shaped like a parabola. Got it जी? That is how we're going to plot it down. अब अगर मैंने इसको plot कर लिया, now find the equation of line of symmetry, the line that cuts off the parabola in half, and that is going to be this line, right? That is going to be this line. आप कैसे निकाल सकते हैं? Just x intercepts को add करें and divide it by 2, right? You just need to add the x-intercept and divide it by 2. So x is equals to, what was the first x-intercept? Minus 1.5. What was the other x-intercept? Almost 5.5 divided by 2. So x would be equal to 4 divided by 2, and that comes out to be 2. So that is the main point of symmetry. So x is equals to 2 is the line of symmetry. Now on the grid, draw a line of 3y is equals to x plus 6 for minus 2 to 6. So आप minus 2 to 6 values लें x की and get me the values of y. So for example, let me just take -2, 0, 2, 4, and 6. And I'm going to get myself the values of y from here. So minus 2 plus 6 is going to be 4, and y would be 4 over 3 for this one. Y would be, when x is 0, y would be 2 for this one. When x is 2, y is going to be 8 by 3. When x is 4, y is going to be 10 by 3. When x is 6, y is going to be 4. So we just need to plot these points. Now you've got -2, and 4 by 3 is 1.3. Now you've got -2 for x, which is over here, and -2 and 1.3 for the other one. And 1.3 is somewhere over here, right? So you would be having a point just right below it, right? That is the main point. Then you've got 0 and 2. This is over here. Then you've got 2 and 8 by 3. Now 2 is over here, and 8 by 3 is something like 2 point something. So 2 and 8 by 3, which is 2 point something. So it must be somewhere over here. And then you've got 4 and 10 by 3. So you've got 4 and 10 by 3 is going to be 3 point something. So 4 and 10 by 3 is going to be 3 point something. So we can take this point. And then you have got 6 and 4. So here we got 6 and 4. Here we got 4. तो जो आपकी line बनेगी, the line they are talking about, that line is going to be something moving like this. When you're going to draw it with scale, you'll get an accurate line. So that would be a straight line. So you've got the line now, right? आपने draw कर लिए. Write down the x coordinates of the points of intersections of the graph, this and this. So we just need to do, we don't need to do that. We just need to suggest that from the graph. So that is something like 0.9, and that is something like 4. So the points of intersection or their x coordinates are -1 and 4. Is that clear to you? So you've got these points. Now we have got the question number 4. We have got a universal set x such that x is an integer from 1 to 15. A x such that x, which are a multiple of 3. Multiple of 3, what does that mean? You've got 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. And b such that is a factor of 30. What do you mean by the factor of 30? Factor of 30 आपके पास क्या हो जाएंगे? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 भी नहीं है, 8 भी नहीं है, 9 भी नहीं है, 10, right? And then you have got 15. So these are the factors of 30. Write down the elements of A. We've got the elements of A, which are the multiples of A, right? Now we need to complete the Venn diagram. So first of all, think about the common thing is in both of them. The common thing is in between them is 3, 6, and 15. So just write them over here, 3, 6, and 50. And now the rest of the elements over here, 3, 6, and 15 out. We've just got 9 and 12. 3, 6, and 15 out. We've just got 1, 2, 5, 10. Right? So 1, 2, 5, and 10. So these are the elements. और जो भी बचते हैं इनके अलावा, just write those elements outside of these circles. और वो जो elements है वो कौन कौन से होंगे? It would be 4, it would be 7, it would be 8, 11, 13, and 14. So this is how you're going to complete this Venn diagram. Now we need to X belongs to A union B intersection. A x belongs to A union B का intersection. So write the smallest value of x. A union B यानी इन दोनों को मिलाकर उनको universal set में से minus कर दें. You're just gonna add up all these elements, A, B, write them together, subtract them from these numbers. So the numbers that you'll be having, the smallest value of x is going to be 4. You can see that. And now we need to get the number of A intersection B. So the number of A intersection B complement. तो B complement में को U minus B करेंगे, right? So what would be the U minus B now? You've got B's which are 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. अगर आप इन सबको करते हैं minus, so you'll be left out with 9, 12, 4, 7, 8, 11, 13 and 14. That is U minus B यानी B का complement. Now we need to get A intersection B complement. A intersection B complement, and that has to be the common thing is between them and them, so that is 9 and 12, right? So the answers that we should be having, हमारे पास कितने numbers होंगे set में? 9 and 12, यानी how many common answers we have got? We have got 2 answers in common. So that is how we're going to get the number of A intersection B complement. After that, we just need to solve it down. So y upon 4 is equals to 8. So y would be equal to 32. And then we need to solve this question number 2. And that is going to be 3 minus 12 equals to 2x plus 4x. And you would be having minus 9 equals to 6x. And x comes out to be negative 3 by 2. So negative 3 by 2 आपका final answer. That was 32. Now in the B part, w is equals to 5x minus 6y. You've got the value of x, you've got the value of y. Just plug them in and get the value of w. So 5 times 6.2 minus 6 times negative 1.8. If you're just going to solve them down, so you would be having 5 times 6.2, which is 31, and then plus 6 times 1.8, and that is going to be 10.8. When you're going to add them up, you would be having something like 41.8. Rearrange the formula to make x the subject. इस फॉर्मूले में आपने x को the subject बनाना है, and that is going to be w plus 6y equals to 5x, and x is going to be w plus 6y divided by 5. That is how we can make x a subject, which is equals to w plus 6y divided by 5. Now, we need to factorize 15y minus x squared minus 3xy plus 5x. How can we factorize it? We just need to, जब आपके पास 4 terms हो, so you need to keep them somehow 2 के pairs में आपने बनाना होता है. So you can write them like 15 minus 3xy minus x squared plus 5x, and you would be having the common thing between the first 2 terms is 3, and you'll be left out with 5, and you would be having negative x squared plus 5x negative 3xy plus 15y. Now the common thing between the first 2 terms is negative x, and you'll be left out with x minus 5. The common thing between these 2 terms is negative 3y, and you'll be left out with x minus 5. Yeah. Now the common thing between both of them is x minus 5, and you'll be left out with negative x negative 3y, right? You can also further simplify it. Just take the negative outside of these brackets, and you would be having x minus 5 dot negative as x plus 3y. So you should be having negative of x minus 5 times x plus 3y, and that is going to be your final answer. So x minus 5 times x plus 3y. In the question number T, write as a single fraction in its simplest form. We just need to write it as a single fraction in the simplest form. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, take their simple LCM, and that is going to be x minus 3 times x plus 3. So over here, I would be having 2 times x plus 3. Over here, I would be having 4 times x minus 3. And over there, I would be having plus 1 times x minus 3 times x plus 3. Over here, I would be having 2x plus 6 minus 4x plus 12 plus x squared minus 9 divided by x squared minus 9. And now you'll be left out with this x squared, 2x minus 4x, which is minus 2x, 6 plus 12, which is 20, and 20 minus 9 is something, 6 plus 12 is 18, and 18 minus 9 is something like 9, and divided by x squared minus 9. So that is the simplified form of this fraction. and you'll be left out with x square minus 2x plus 9 divided by x square minus 9. That is how we're going to solve this question down. Now, you've got question number 6, which has a volume of a sphere. आपको बताया हुआ है 4 by 3 pi r cube. The volume of the cube is 343 centimeters cube. The sphere touches all the 6 faces of the cube. तो सबसे पहले तो आप क्या करेंगे? That you need the length of each side of this cube. आपको इस क्यूब की एक साइड की लेंथ का पता होना चाहिए. How can you get that? The the volume of the cube is just x cube. अगर साइड की जो लेंथ है वो x है. So x cube equals to 343. And if you're just going to take their square cube root, so cube root of x cube is equals to cube root of 343, and you would be having x is equals to 7. अब जाहिर सी बात है इसका half would be the radius. So x could be treated as the diameter of the sphere, and r would be 3.5 centimeters. Once you've got the r, you can easily get the volume of the sphere. That would be just 4 by 3 pi times r cube. इसको अगर आप solve करते हैं, so you would be having the volume, and the volume is going to be something like um, yeah 179.5 centimeters cube. So that is the volume. Now the next thing, solid A is mathematically similar to solid B. The volume of solid A is 540 centimeter cube. The volume of solid B is 1280 centimeters cube. और वॉल्यूम और सॉलिड ए की आपके पास हाइट भी है, दैट इज समथिंग लाइक 15. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, अगर ये मैथमेटिकली इक्वल हैं, इफ दे आर मैथमेटिकली इक्वल, सो वी जस्ट नीड टू कीप इट इन माइंड दैट द क्यूब्स ऑफ देयर हाइट्स एंड द वॉल्यूम्स, द रेशियो ऑफ बिटवीन देम शुड बी इक्वल. यानी 540 डिवाइडेड बाय 1280 must be equal to the cube of the height of the first object, या आप कह लें a, divided by height of the b. Why I'm taking the cube? Because this is the volume. We're relating the volume with the height. Volume is a 3D. This is 1D. How can we make 1D into 3D? By just taking its cube. So now I would be having 540 divided by 1280 is equals to height of h was 15 ka cube divided by height of b ka cube. And now if you want to calculate height of b ka cube, that is going to be the 15 cube times 1780 divided by 540. Now you can just take the cube root as well. So इसको अगर आप solve कर लें, you can get the final height, and the final height is going to be 20 centimeters. Okay. Now we've got this C part. The diagram shows a solid formed by joining a cone to a cylinder. Cone आपने एक cylinder से join किए. The cone and cylinder each have a radius of 6.3. The slanted height of the cone is 8.7 centimeters. The ratio of height of the cone and the height of the cylinder is 2:3. Heights की आपको यहाँ पे क्या दी हुई है? Ratios दी हुई है, right? And other than that, you've got the cone and the cylinder have a radius 6.3, और दूसरी side आपके पास क्या है? 8.7. Got it? We need to calculate the total surface area of the solid. How can you get the total surface area of the solid? You just need to calculate, um, you know, the height of the cone, and this is the height of the cylinder. If this is 2, this, right? Surface area of the solid. Total surface area of the values, pi RL, pi, the radius of the cone is 6.3, and the slanted height of the cone is 8.7, plus 2 pi, radius of the height of the cylinder comes out to be 9. So now we've got this question number B. And in this question number B, you've got the PQR is a triangle. PR are the points on a circle and with center at O. QR is a tangent to the circle at point R and QR is 12 centimeter and angle RPQ is something like 35, right? So ये सारी चीजें जब हमें पता है, so we can simply just draw a perpendicular line over it. As we all know that the angle between the radial segment and the tangential segment would always be 90 degrees. And then after that, since this is the radius of the triangle and this one is also the radius of the triangle, so both of these lines would be making the same angle with the third line, which is this one. So यहाँ पर भी angle क्या होगा 35. Now by just simply using the rule, कि sum of the angle should be 180 degrees. So 35 plus 35 is something like 70. 180 minus 70 is going to be 110. तो ये वाला angle कितना होगा 110 degrees. Now this angle and this angle, the total of these angles should be 180. So this angle has to be 70. Some 180 होना चाहिए. And then 90 plus 70 is something like 160. So 180 minus 60, तो ये वाला angle आपके पास क्या होगा 20 degrees, right? But now by just using the tangent, you can get this side, this red segment. And once you've got this red segment, you can easily calculate all of these areas. So, you're just going to use tangent 20, which is equal to opposite over adjacent. The opposite side is OR and the adjacent is 12. So if you want to calculate OR, it would just be 12 times tangent 20. So now if you multiply 12 by tangent 20, you would be having something like 4.3. So this side is basically 4.3 or 4.367 currently. So now we've got this side. So this is the first triangle and this is the second triangle. Now, if you want to use the simple theorems, you can just simply use them. अगर आप area of triangle, if you want to calculate the area of the triangle PQR, it should be the sum of the area of triangle ORP plus the sum of the area of triangle OQR. So what we need to do, we just need to use the simple formulas. 1 upon 2. You've got this side. अगर आपके पास ये side is, this side is also going to be 4.3 because it is a radius. So 4.36 times 4.36 and the angle between them, which is sine 110. Plus, if you're looking for the triangle of area of the triangle AQR, OQR, it must be 1 by 2, right? So now you've got OQR. अब OQR में देख लें आपके पास you've got two sides. You've got this 12 and you've got this 4.3. So you can just simply use 12 times 4.3 and the angle between them is sine 90. And when you're going to solve all of it down, you would just be having the total area, which comes out to be 35.2 square units, right? So that is how we're going to dissect this triangle. And after this triangle, we've got this question number 10. Bag A contains red balls and green balls. So we've got red balls and green balls. The total number of balls in the bag is X. So red balls plus green balls is going to be X balls. The number of green balls in the bag is 6 more than the number of red balls. So what does that mean? That G is R plus 6, the number of red balls plus 6. So the above equation would become, if you're talking about the above equation would become R plus 6 equals to X, right? We need to show that the fraction of balls in bag A that are red is X minus 6 upon 2X. Fractions of balls that are red is X minus 6 upon 2X. So you can easily get yourself the value of R from here. That is going to be 2R equals to X minus 6 and R is equals to X minus 6 divided by 2. So these are the number of balls that I'm having. So fraction of the red balls निकालनी है आपने. So fraction of the red balls is going to be X minus 6 upon 2, which are the red balls. And the total number of balls that we had was X. So we would just be having X minus 6 divided by 2X. Now, getting to the next question. B also contains the red balls and green balls. Bag B है. उसमें भी आपके पास red balls भी हैं और green balls भी हैं. The number of red balls in bag B is X. So this is X. And the number of green balls in bag B is 4 times the number of green balls in bag A. So the number of green balls in bag A number of green balls in bag A was R plus 6, right? It was R plus 6, yani R plus 6 tha. And the number of green balls in bag B is 4 times the number of uh, green balls in bag A. So, what is going to be G? G is just going to be 4 times the number of green balls in bag A, that was R plus 6, right? So we've got this equation. Now, show that the fraction of the balls in bag B that are red is x upon 3x plus 12. So we just need to talk about the fractions of balls that we would be having, and that is x upon 3x plus 12. So we're just going to write that equation first of all. Total number of balls हम पहले बात करते हैं. Total balls. So they are going to be x plus 4r plus 6. I would be having x plus 6, and then it would be 4 times r. Now, what was your r? R was basically x minus 6 upon 2. So I'm just going to write it over here, x minus 6 upon 2. And I would be having total balls as x plus 6 plus 2x minus 12. And that would eventually become 3x. 6 minus 12 is minus 6. So I would be having 3x minus, well, just give me a second. It was x minus 6 upon 2. So first of all, we just need to calculate the total number of balls, and the total number of balls are going to be, आपके पास total balls आपने निकालनी है. So you've got the red balls as x, and the number of green balls are going to be 4 times total balls bag A में x थी, x का half plus 3. That were the number of balls in the bag A. Green balls की बात कर रहे हैं. So, you would be having 4x plus, it would be x plus 6 divided by 2. That would eventually become x plus 4x, um, x plus 2x plus it would be 2 times 6 is going to be 12. So the total number of the balls would be 3x plus 12. Now the fraction of the red balls, since the red balls over here in bag B is Rx divided by the total number of balls, which is 3x plus 12. So that is the fraction that we're looking for, right? Now, we've got x minus 6 upon 2x is equals to x upon 3x plus 12. We just need to cross multiply them. And I would be having x minus 6 times 3x plus 12 equals to 2x squared, right? And after that, I would be having 3x squared plus 12x minus 18x minus 72 equals to 2x squared. Now bring that 2x squared over here. So 3x squared minus 6x minus 72 minus 2x squared equals to 0. So we would be having 3x squared minus 2x squared, which is x squared, minus 6x minus 72. And that was the equation we've been looking for, right? Okay, now in the D part, we need to factorize x squared minus 6x minus 72, which is equal to 0. So we can just simply write it down as x squared. Well, 6 12s is 72, so you can just simply write it down as negative 12x, positive 6x minus 72 equals to 0. And that would give you x minus 12 times x plus 6. So you can have two values of x, which are 12 and negative 6. So x is the total number of balls in bag A, right? So what does that mean? That we have got 12 balls in bag A. Now use your answer in part D to find the number of green balls in bag A. So if you remember, the green balls in bag A were x by 2 plus 3. So what you would be having, x by 2 is 12 by 2 plus 3, and that would become 9. Why we're not taking the negative number? Because number of balls can never be negative, right? Okay, now we have got this question number 11. Mia has 25 shapes, all of them. She uses their properties to sort them into groups. The table shows the number of shapes in each group, and you've got triangles, you've got quadrilaters, you've got some line of symmetries, they've got no line of symmetries. Mia takes one of the triangles at random and notes its properties and replaces it. Find the probability that it has line symmetry. So the total number of probability of line symmetry आपने बतानी है. So the total number of line symmetry triangles we are having is about 4, and the total number of triangles we are having is 9. So it would be 4 by 9. Now Mia takes one of the 25 shapes at random, notes its properties and replaces it. She then takes a second shape at random, notes its properties and replaces it. Find the probability that both the shapes are quadrilateral. So if you want to work out that both the shapes are quadrilateral, what does that mean? KG, out of 25 shapes, we have got 16 quadrilateral, 9 plus 7 is 16. And the total number of shapes we are having 25. And since he replaces it back, so it should be 16 upon 25. And now you just need to times them up, so you would be having. So now, in this question, you would be having 16 upon 25 times 16 upon 25, and that would eventually become 256 divided by 625. Now Mia takes three shapes of 25 shapes at random without replacement. Now she's not going to replace them back. So find the probability that one of the shapes in a triangle is with line symmetry. Is a triangle with a line symmetry. So if you remember how many triangles we had with a line symmetry, we have got almost 4 triangles with a line symmetry. So that should be 4 upon 25 times. Now apart from 4, we've got how much shapes? We've got 21 left out of 24 now, because we've already picked one, and it would be left out with 20 divided by 23. And now also we need to times it by 3, because this 4 by 25 got 3 different slots. It can be placed in between them, it can be placed at the end, it can be placed at the beginning. So that is why for the total chances, I'm just multiplying it by 3. And now by just sorting it out, I would be having the final answer as 42 divided by 115. So that is how we should be talking about it. I'll get back to you guys with the next past paper. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.